In the real world, most of us experience anxiety in varying degrees depending on the situation. It isn't always a bad thing, as some anxiety can motivate us to replan or rethink a situation before acting. However, excessive anxiety can be crippling to a point where we can't decide, we don't take action, or we mess up when the event finally comes. Let's talk about different forms of anxiety. Anxiety can come in many different forms depending on what it is that triggers our feelings of fear, worry, or dread. These three types of anxiety are often the most common types discussed in modern psychology research, but there are probably other types of anxiety that don't fit so neatly in these categories: specific phobias, existential anxiety, death anxiety, etc. Nevertheless, these are the types of anxiety. Let's talk about social anxiety. Social anxiety is a fear or worry about social situations. We may feel uncomfortable or avoid environments that involve large groups of people, like school, work, public speeches, high school reunions, etc. Or we may even feel uncomfortable or avoid certain kinds of one-to-one interactions, like job interviews, dating, interacting with a stranger for the first time, or meeting a celebrity. Most people feel some kind of anxiety in these situations, but it varies greatly from person to person. Some people may feel more comfortable in groups, while others feel more comfortable during one-to-one interactions. Some people may feel more comfortable talking to familiar faces, while others feel more comfortable meeting someone for the first time. It really depends on the environment and the person. Now let's talk about performance anxiety. Unlike social anxiety, performance anxiety is a fear or worry about performances, such as a student taking a final exam at school, or a musician performing on stage, or an athlete playing at a big sports game. We worry that we won't do our best, or that we will mess up or lose, and that anxiety can actually inhibit us from performing to our maximum capacity, or even performing at all, for example due to too much stage fright. Instead of focusing on what we need to get done to succeed, we become more focused on all the ways things that may go wrong. This can sometimes become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Our thoughts make us more uncomfortable and ill-prepared, and then those thoughts lead to actions that reinforce our previous conceptions. Do you know what is choice anxiety? Choice anxiety is an anxiety rooted in uncertainty when making decisions. The truth is that none of us can act or make a decision with full knowledge of what the consequences will be. The universe is just too complex, and our minds aren't capable of completely understanding it. Due to this, we often feel anxiety when making a big decision in our life, because we don't know if we will make the best possible choice. Some common big decisions we need to make throughout our lives include what college to go to, what career to pursue, who to date, marry, where to live, what kind of car to drive, etc. We make decisions every day and we have to face the opportunity costs from choosing one option over another. Some research suggests that the more options we have to choose from, the more difficult it is to make a decision. They claim that having more options leads to a higher opportunity cost, theoretically. The more we have to choose from, the more we miss out on, and when this opportunity cost becomes too big, we can often suffer from paralysis by analysis. Paralysis by analysis inhibits us from making any decision because we are so lost on what the right course of action is. I'm sure that you've experienced these kinds of anxieties through your life to varying degrees. That's good. A lot of our anxiety can be healthy and natural. However, when it starts interfering with how we want to live our lives, then it can become a problem that we need to deal with. The first step toward dealing with this problem is identifying some of the potential causes of our anxiety. Then we can determine what are the best ways to treat it. There are some most common causes of anxiety. There are a lot of factors that can contribute to our anxiety, and our mental health more generally. In this section, I am going to discuss some of the most common causes of anxiety, and also some potential treatment options for each one. However, it's important to remember that because our anxiety can be due to such a wide array of different variables, it is often better to integrate several treatment options simultaneously. Certain gene variants may be associated with greater levels of anxiety. We all have a different biological makeup, and sometimes individuals may experience increased levels of anxiety for no other reason but that it is embedded in their genetic code. These genes essentially cause chemical imbalances in the brain that lead to your anxiety. Treatment options. If your anxiety is driven by your biology, it may be possible to get prescribed medication from a professional psychiatrist. Beware, however, that many of these medications can have negative side effects. You may go through several different medications before finding one that works best. A good psychiatrist will help you through this process. Also beware that if your anxiety is caused by other factors, then medication will only serve as a quick fix, but it won't solve the deeper issues in your life. You may need to supplement your medication with other treatments. Anxiety can also be caused due to physical inactivity and poor diet. When we don't treat our bodies right, then that can often have an effect on our mental states. If we don't eat balanced meals and get all the nutrition we need, that often means our brains aren't getting enough nutrition either. This inhibits our brains from functioning as efficiently as they could be, which could very well become a contributor to higher levels of anxiety. Physical activity is also crucial to both our physical and mental health. Running, playing sports, going to the gym, dancing, and anything that provides exercise is a great way to relieve stress and anxiety that may build up throughout the days or weeks. It's important that we have a way to channel hormones, like adrenaline and cortisol, in positive and healthy ways, otherwise they manifest themselves as stress and anxiety. Treatment options. If you don't already take good care of your body, you'd probably be surprised of just how much less stressed and anxious you'd be if you started taking better care of your health. Try doing little things like replacing soda with water, eating less cake, going for a jog several times a week, or being more mindful of what you eat, and you'll begin to feel better both physically and mentally.